Dwayne Knoll, or as I call him, Cowboy Gandalf, of the YouTube channel Dry Creek Wrangler School, made a video called How to Deal with Loneliness, where he spoke extensively about how people who are single or who lack friends can deal with loneliness without getting swamped by it. The following words inspired me to create this journal, which we will delve into afterwards.
The one companion that's always going to be with you is yourself. And the reason why we cannot face the concept of not having any companion is because we're not comfortable with ourselves as a companion. We don't want to be left alone by ourselves with ourselves. So we come in and we sit down and we get on our phone, or we turn on the TV, or we go wherever, we do whatever, because we don't want to face the reality of being by ourselves with ourselves. Start making yourself a companion that you're comfortable with. If you're with yourself and yourself is always beating you up, you're not going to want to be with yourself. If I'm sitting out here by myself in the evening by a fire, cup of coffee and a cigar, and I'm constantly beating myself up over my failures in the past, I'm not someone that I want to be alone with. You want someone who's going to encourage you, who sees the possibility in the future, who gently pushes me and encourages me to get out of the rut, to get out of the hole, to get out of the sheepfold, to get out of the swamp that I'm in, and to move on and do better. Well, if you don't have somebody who's going to do that, become that somebody.
For me, my internal dialogue is negatively inclined. When I'm walking around just going through life, it's much easier for me to listen to anxiety as opposed to joy. And so when I came across the advice just played, I knew I needed to follow it. Not just by saying positive things to myself, but by writing those positive things down in detail so that my internal dialogue could have substantial grounding outside of my ever-racing stream of consciousness. And so I bought a journal with the intent to always write a positive and hopeful interpretation of whatever was going on in my life. I started making entries anytime I felt bad about myself, something that had happened, something that I feared could happen, or when I just wanted to pause and reflect on the genuinely good things about me. I still write entries to this day, because while this journaling practice has not completely transformed me from a pessimist into an optimist, it has balanced things out significantly. I'm still lonely a lot of the time, but by being a good companion to myself in this way, my anxiety-ridden false self that says that I'm crap and have a future of crap lacks the monopoly on my mind that it used to have. When faced with pages of positivity, it's forced to lower its volume. Here's an example entry. Last day of the year. 2024 was the most difficult year of my life. Painful, depressing, but also strengthening, enlightening, and inspiring. In 2025, I will be bold by relaxing. I thank God for everything this year. I've certainly become a more defined individual as a result. In 2025, this trend will continue, and so much more will come to pass. I'm excited. It's cliche but true. Much of our lives are determined by what we tell ourselves. Jumping back inside Inside Out 2, this is beautifully illustrated when joy and sadness visit the belief system of Riley. When joy pulls on the strings of the system, positive beliefs about Riley are said.
I'm strong. I'm a really good friend.
These beliefs form Riley's sense of self and shape her internal dialogue, making her a truly positive person at this time in the film. When Riley develops anxiety, however, the phrasing and contents of her inner dialogue change, and she develops false beliefs that form a false self. When anxiety pulls on the strings of her belief system, they only say things like,
"If I'm good at hockey, I'll have friends."
Which is false. Hockey is awesome, being good at it is cool, but it is not what would make people like Riley on its own. After being filled with all these false beliefs, Riley's statement of identity goes from,
I'm a good person,
to,
I'm not good enough.
And the experience of her life goes from positive to negative. That's what happens when you're not a good companion to you. For me, I am most vulnerable to anxiety when I'm alone. The loneliness journal technique I've laid out has helped make sure that my true self, who I really am, speaks and is closer to the front of my mind instead of at the back.